What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and it's around the new year. And as you know, on the channel, we check out the latest and greatest cutting edge technology from all different categories. And it's something that I love to do as the industry continues to push the limits of design, performance, and productivity. From the gaming side of things though, today we're checking out the Intel 13th Gen i9-13900K processor that delivers next generation gaming and productivity experience for people who are looking to build a new gaming PC, purchase one, or also go ahead and upgrade their existing system. As you guys might remember, last year I built my own custom gaming PC, and that featured the Intel 12th generation chip as well as the latest NVIDIA 3080 at the time, and that was actually the setup that we used for my Formula 1 simulator, which was actually the most viewed video of the year, and that was a really fun experience. So for the gaming side of things, a custom gaming PC is the way that I've gone, and today we're checking out a really insane setup, which is the Maingear MG1 fully custom built computer paired with the Intel 13th Gen i9-13900K flagship processor, its insane specs, and its feature set. So I want to give a huge thanks to Intel for sponsoring this video, and today we're going to be checking out my gaming PC setup for 2023. So beginning with the desk setup itself, I have my Ergonophus walnut desk, which is very characteristic of what you've seen on the channel and in this office loft, with the walnut slats in the back, and I think it just blends in perfectly. That has an element of style to it, but also areas of LED that have been implemented through the Maingear MG1. The keyboard that I'm currently using is the Mode custom gaming keyboard, and I have it in an olive green with a copper insert, which I think goes very well with the earthy tones of the desk. And the desk also does a really good job of hiding the cables in the back while also having a power bar that is built in, so I can have my computer, my monitor, and any other accessories that I want connected here, and with one cable going down to the wall outlet. When it comes to a gaming mouse, I've been switching between a wireless Logitech light mouse as well as a Razer wired one. But right now I have a Razer one on my desk, and occasionally I also have a desk mat, because if you're playing like first-person shooters, for example, you don't want to scratch your desk in the long run. And when it comes to the monitor, I have the brand new Sony one, which is made specifically for gaming and has a really nice and minimal design to it. And I think this 27-inch size for gaming has always kind of been my sweet spot when it comes to a gaming monitor in the past. So specifically, this generation of Intel processor is the latest and greatest. And the two things that I use my computer for, especially when it comes to Windows computers, is of course gaming and being able to play at the highest settings possible. But at the same time, I also do a lot of productivity work, and using programs such as DaVinci Resolve, Lightroom, and Photoshop are ones where the processor and the CPU elements definitely contribute a lot. And what is great about this computer is that with this latest generation i9-13900K, it features a total of 24 cores and a clock speed of up to 5.8 gigahertz. And with 24 cores on paper, that sounds incredible, and it is, but what is great is that Intel has implemented a hybrid architecture that features high efficiency and also high performance cores and utilizes them according to the task at hand. So on certain tasks, say you're just doing general productivity, it can utilize the high efficiency cores, but when you're using apps such as DaVinci Resolve and trying to do like noise reductions and mass exports of color grading and encoding files, then it'll go ahead and utilize the high performance cores to deliver that maximum performance possible, especially with that many cores and the clock speed in conjunction with the GPU. One of the really cool features though is that it also features an AI-based overclocking. So if you're someone like myself who has built a few custom gaming PCs, but specifically does not have as much experience when it comes to the intricacies of overclocking, and I don't want to set the computer to the point where it is at an unsafe temperature, then using the AI-based overclocking, it is able to analyze the system that you have, the cooling setup, as well as the different pieces of hardware to be able to ensure you're getting the highest performance out of the CPU and system possible, while ensuring it is also operating at a safe level. Another feature that the Intel 13th Gen processors also have is Wi-Fi 6E. This is the latest generation of Wi-Fi support with Gig+, and it gives you 3x faster connectivity, which is really important when it comes to playing games and having the minimum level of latency possible with the great graphics. And of course, Also when it comes to uploading content online or streaming online, which for any gaming PC, especially if you're investing this much money into it, you don't want to be bottlenecked from the connectivity elements. Another feature that is specifically good for anyone who does a lot of large file transfers or video editing is Thunderbolt 4 support in the 13th generation. This is something that I really take advantage of all the time because we're transferring terabytes of files on a daily basis, and whenever we're loading footage into DaVinci, for example, it is all in the raw form. So by having up to 40 gigabytes per second in transfer bandwidth is amazing, and these are all features that come together to deliver the best performance possible and an unmatched gaming experience through the 13th generation, and specifically the 13th gen i9 13900K processor that we have in this Maingear MG1. So now that we've talked a lot about the Intel 13th generation processors, let's go ahead and actually demonstrate the experience of doing color grading, general video editing, and also talk about the gaming that we get out of this Maingear MG1 setup.
So the biggest thing about performance is that it is relatively subjective, but in this scenario I opened up DaVinci Resolve, put 4K footage, graded and also denoised it, and did the typical export that I've done on other computers, and for the most part the computer really didn't break a sweat. With the top end 13th generation 13900K processor, less than 10% of it was being utilized and the graphics card was still running at just about half. The computer continued to remain relatively steady and quiet, and the temperatures were well retained as it displayed on the motherboard. So from a productivity standpoint, this computer was really built to handle great performance when it comes to commercial video work. On the gaming side of things, we booted up Cyberpunk and had it at the highest settings across the board. And as we expected again, this combination of specs with this computer was able to handle it with a breeze. Despite its compact size, it was able to keep itself cooled, retain good temperatures, and in terms of the out-of-the-box clock speed, the performance was no issue at all, but as I mentioned, you do have the option to use the AI overclocking to reach the maximum 5.8 GHz. When doing both video editing, exporting, and gaming, I also tried to evaluate the actual usage of the CPU and how the high efficiency and high performance cores were being segmented. I definitely noticed that some of the cores were clocked lower and others higher, and it actually runs in a very variable rate depending on how much power it needs at a given time to maximize the amount of performance and frame rates possible while ensuring the computer runs stable and quiet.
So now let's go ahead and talk about the customizability that you have with the Maingear MG1 computer. This is a computer that is really crafted for advanced performance and unlimited customization when it comes to the aesthetics, but also the specs. The first thing is that it is actually very compact. You take a look at all the elements inside, and especially with a huge graphics card such as the NVIDIA GeForce 4080 and the Founders Edition, it is all able to fit while ensuring the proper airflow and circulation within. So in this case, mine has a black finish as well as the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080 graphics card, and that is one with 9,728 CUDA cores and 16 gigabytes of GDDR6X memory. The processor, of course, that we talked about is the Intel Core i9 13900K with 24 cores, 32 threads, and up to 5.8 GHz boost. And the cooling setup that I have here is the Maingear Epic RGB, which is actually a liquid cooler and gives you the ultimate performance with the Maingear stamp on it. And this all comes together with fans that are made by Cooler Master, and you can customize all the different lights through the RGB controller, whether it is using the remote or actually through software. And these fans are Maingear RGB fans that are fully customizable in terms of the LED patterns and colors, just like the RAM and just like the liquid cooler. The motherboard that I have in this computer is the Asus ROG Maximus Z790 Hero, which features 2.5 gigabit LAN, Wi-Fi 6E support, which is what we also talked about is compatible with the Intel 13th generation processor, along with 32 gigs of Kingston Fury Beast RGB DDR5 RAM. And before the computer ships, it goes through a whole testing process from Maingear to ensure everything is working well and reliably. There's a nice stamp of approval that is included when the computer is sent to you. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching this video about my gaming setup for 2023. And it's just really nice to be able to check out the latest in the category of graphics cards, as well as processors, all put together by a company like Maingear that has experience in gaming and performance specifically, and the levels of customizations that you're able to have. With any desk setup and gaming PC, it's really an opportunity to be able to express yourself based on the style that you enjoy, and being able to change that down the road depending on your different tastes and swap swapping out the faceplate and changing the lighting setup is always a great option to have. I'm definitely trying to spend more time on PC gaming and the different setups that we're doing over the years, so make sure you guys stay tuned, and if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.